Hey guys, welcome to RK Keynotes. This video is regarding core Java programming. In Unit 5 under Part 2, until now we have seen what is event delegation model, event classes, listeners, adapter classes with example program using NetBeans IDE. In this video, let's understand layout managers. So throughout this video, we're going to explore different types of layout managers. First, let's understand what is layout manager in general. For example, now you are about to design a registration form, but you want to place at least 20 controls in your form. That is, you should ask for first name, last name, age, date of birth, address, mobile number, and so many things. So for these things, what we will do is that using any IDE like NetBeans or Eclipse or IntelliJ, what we'll do is that from toolbox we will simply drag and drop these AWT controls or swing controls. It's depends on the programming which you are about to develop. So what I will do is that we will drag and drop and we will align all these things through mouse by using your manual thing. Like we should align all these things and we have to put all these things in a structured way. But aligning so many components like this will take a lot of time. It's a tedious process, and sometimes the form won't look like nicely designed one. So this is where layout managers comes into picture. So you just want to specify the style like border layout or grid layout, something like that. So all your controls will get automatically aligned, so which automatically minimizes the time taken to design the form, and you don't want to do it in a manual way. So this is what the overview of a layout manager. So now let's get into a formal definition. So it automatically positions all the components within the container. So easy, right? And even though if you are not using any layout manager, it will automatically align all your component using a default layout manager. So this is an important question. Now we should understand what are all the default layout managers available. Fine. Okay, so that I'll let you know on the next slide. So the points given here is that either you could do all these things by using your hand, by mouse, dragging all these things, but we know that it's a tedious task and it will take a lot of time. Sometimes your height and width won't match with other components. For example, the first name text box might be bigger than the last name one. So so all these, to overcome all these problems, we can use layout managers. Fine, hope you have got the point what is layout manager. So now let's understand the default layout managers. So if you are using a frame or a window concept, then the default layout manager is border layout. And if you are using JPanel to design your form, then the default layout manager is flow layout. Fine, so these 2 points are very important. So now the next question is that for example, if you specify some size for your window, if you resize that, will the components will be resized or what? Whether the dimensions will change or what? Yes, of course, the layout managers will automatically adapt to the dimensions of the applet viewer. So even though if you drag and if you enlarge the size of the window, all your components will get aligned accordingly. Fine. Okay, so what are the types of layout managers we are going to explore in this particular video? So we're going to explore border layout, card layout, flow layout, grid layout, and grid bag layout. So border layout is basically consists of 5 different regions like east, west, north, south, and center. So herewith I've given some explanation of what is border layout, and so these are all the constant regions like north, south, east, west. So you need to follow this one, right? And so this is how the coding looks like. So I have imported AWT package swing, and this is a class. The class name is border, and I'm going to use JFrame. I have used swing here, so JFrame. We have seen what is frame, window, and all. And there is a constructor, and object is created, and I'm just going to place 5 buttons, and I'm just going to display some text over there like north, south. And what I'm doing is that I'm going to add all these things we know that JFrame reference variable is f. So using that, f dot add, and I'm gonna add this b1, that is button 1, with this border layout. So like this, you have to specify what kind of layout you are going to use. Border layout, and this button should go to north, and this b2 button should go to south, right? Likewise, I have specified all these things. Then I have mentioned the size of your frame, and the visibility is set as true, and just creating an object here. Fine. So now let's go back to your NetBeans IDE, and let's check the output. So this is the program. I have copy pasted the same thing. Hope you can see this. Fine. And let me run this program. That is so the name is layout manager. Let me take that layout bin. Fine, I'm gonna run this file, and for the first time it will take a little time. Let's wait for a moment. It is building. Yeah, so this is how the output looks like. So these are all the 5 buttons which we have placed here. So these buttons got aligned automatically. I have not used my mouse to drag and drop all these things, right? I mean, so these alignments were done automatically by the layout which we have mentioned, that is border layout. Fine. So this is north button, west, center, east, south. So all these buttons. Fine. Hope this is clear now. Let's go back to this, and this is how we have got the output. Okay, now let's understand card layout. And you see this card layout in the sense, for example, I'm gonna place how many buttons here? Yeah, 3 buttons I'm gonna place. That is button 1, 2, 3. And card layout in the sense, it will come one by one. So the first card will be like apple. It will display this as the button 1 as apple. And whenever I click on that button, then it will display the next card, that is boy, cat, like this. Fine. So hope you have visualized the output. And this is how the coding looks like. I have imported 3 packages here. One is AWT and AWT event, because whenever I click on that a particular button, it should go to the next button, right? And here there is a package called swing, and I have used a class which extends JFrame and implements action listener. We have seen a lot of examples using this. If you have not, please refer the previous videos which I have posted. And here I'm just create 3 buttons. Like for J button, I have given 3 variables like button 1, 2, 3, and a container, and over here constructor, because card layout example is our class name. So here the layout is mentioned for, that is card layout, and I'm creating an object, and I specified the width and height, like the 40 and 30, like 40 horizontal space and 30 vertical space. Fine. Okay, so now I'm gonna set this layout as card, which means that which is automatically stored in this card. Fine. So this layout, the card layout, is set now. Now we just want to mention, I have already declared these variables now, b1, b2, b3. So I'm using J button in the sense swing. If it is simply a button in the sense AWT component we are using. Fine. And I have mentioned 3 different names over there, like apple, boy, cat, and you know well about these buttons. Like we need to, if you are using any action listener, if this wants to if you want to do any changes within your form, like clicking or dragging or not, so definitely you need to add all these things with the action listener, right, which you have implemented like this. So here I just added all these buttons, and over here you need to add all these buttons into your the container over here. Yes. And I have specified that whenever I click on that, what is the action performed. You know that from action listener we can use this predefined method over there, action performed, that is next. I have mentioned next, that is next, and then I have called C, which means that whenever I click on that, it should go to the next card, something like that. Fine. And object is created, and these are all the default things, like we'll set size and visible true, and default close operation, exit on close. That's it. So now let's go back to NetBeans IDE and let's run this out. So I have an example for you guys here and I have copy pasted the same thing. You can see this fine, and let me run this program, that is card layout example. Well, oh, here it is, fine, and I'll just run this file. Yes, so this is how the output will be. If you need any title, you can specify a title here, okay? And whenever I click on this button, some action should be performed. What is that? It should go to the next card. Of course, it's happening, right? I'm gonna click again. It is going to show cat. So like this, it will be going on, right? Fine. So this is how the output looks like for the card layout example. Hope this is clear for you. So until now we have seen two different layouts. One is border layout and card layout. So we have got the same output as like this. So the next one is a flow layout. This is used to arrange the components in a line, one after another. So first button will be aligned. First button will be placed in the top corner, and the button 2, button 3 will comes after that. Fine. So like this, also while placing those buttons, you can align whether you want in top right or center or leading or trailing. Fine. So all these things. So the example program looks like this. So we have got two packages. One is AWT and swing, and my class name is my flow layout, and I have used a frame, and there is a constructor. Object is created for this frame, and I have got 5 buttons here, right? And I have added all these buttons to the frame. Fine. Now I need to set a layout. See, I'm just creating buttons, but I'm not saying anything because we are using layout manager, so that all these things should be aligned automatically. So that is the whole concept, right? We should not do any mouse dragging, dropping, and all these things. Fine. So I'm just setting this frame should be like f.set layout, and I'm creating an object, a new flow layout, and I'm saying that this flow layout should be in the left side, because earlier we have seen that you can do it either in a left, right, or center, or trailing, or leading. Fine. So here it is mentioned as left, and these are all the basic things, like you should set a size, visible, true. If you want a title, then you can say set title, some title over here. Fine. And our object is created in the main method. That's it. So now let's execute this flow layout, and we'll see how the output is going to be. So this is the same program which I have placed here, and let me run this, my flow layout. So I'll just go to my flow layout. So this is the file. Click on run file, and it will build. So you see this, that is left alignment. It is given. So these components, all these components got placed in the left side, right? Then all other buttons comes one after another, like 1, 2, 3 in a series. So let me put this one in right side, and you know what happens, right? So let me save this, and let's show you this changes. So now this should align in towards right. Yes, like this. So you can play around with all these alignments. Fine. So hope this is clear. Flow layout. All right. So we have got similar output like this. So now let me explain what is a grid layout. And when you are using grid layout, your components will be arranged in a rectangular grid form. So here all these components will be in a equal size, like same size. So we'll be using grid layout class over there. Fine. So the program goes like this. I've got 2 packages, same as the previous one, like AWT and swing, and there is a class, frame, JFrame, constructor, and I'm gonna take few buttons over here. So this is your wish, and I'm gonna add all these buttons to the frame. And just one change when compared to the previous program, with the flow layout. So here I have used grid layout, that's it. And 3 by 3, that is the row and column, the size of the grid. Fine. Then rest of all same things, right? So hope you can identify the differences in these programs. So let's execute this grid layout and understand this better. So let me comment this. So I'll go to this example. So this is the example which I should execute. That is grid layout. So the program looks same. Alright, and I'm gonna run this file. That is my grid layout. And let's run this. You see this, we have seen what is grid layout. Grid layout will align all your controls in a rectangular grid, and this is like 3 cross 3 the size. Fine. So this is how it goes. And we have got one more thing, that is, let me show you that. So we have got similar output like this. So, and the next one is grid bag layout, and there is one single change in this, where in grid layout you can't change one single grid with your different size. But over here in grid bag layout you can maintain a dynamic rectangular cells about that grid. So which means that each grid can be dynamic, which means you can have your own style or own size of the grid. So that is the main difference. In grid bag layout you can make your grids dynamic, but in grid layout you can't do that. You have to specify the layout like grid layout, and you will specify 3 cross 3 or 2 cross 2 or whatever you want. So all these changes will be unique in grid layout, but in grid bag you can maintain a dynamic size of the grids. Fine. So the program goes like this, and you see this. I have got headability and grid bag constraints, grid bag layout, swing, and there is a class which extends JFrame, and in the main method I'm just creating an object for this class, and I've got a grid bag layout. This is a constructor, and I'll create an object for this grid bag layout, and I've set this layout, and you see this, the layout got set, and I'm gonna fill this one in horizontal, and I have specified the size of this button 1, right, like x and y equal to 0 for this grid bag. That is GBC comes from this grid bag constraint. Fine. And likewise I'm gonna have so the next button should be like this, button 2 should be like grid x equal to 1 and y equal to 0, and this padding you can set. So this will be a little bit lengthy, but you can go through this so that you can set a number of things like this, like horizontal or where you want. And you see this button 3 and 4 size is different, and button 5 size is also different, right? So that you can have all your grids in a dynamic environment, so that you can change each and every single button over here. The components which you are placing using grid bag layout. Fine. So let me go back to the example, which I just want to show you how bag layout will be executed and how does it looks like. So this is the program which I have copy pasted. Yes, and so I've got 5 buttons over there, but all are different, right? So grid bag constraint for button 1 I have specified something, and button 2, and button 3, 4 and 5. Fine. So I'll just run this file. And over here you can see the difference. The difference is about, yes, so this is the difference, and this is button 1, 2, and you can see the difference here. Fine. Hope you got the difference between grid layout and grid bag layout now. Alright, so the next concept which I'm gonna take you to is that box layout, even though which I have mentioned over there in the coding part, but I have given here. So the box layout, can you see this? Yes. So this box layout will arrange your components either in vertical or horizontal, order, and where you can follow these things, these fields like x-axis, y-axis, the line axis, page axis. So you can play around with this. You see this I have mentioned here as x-axis, sorry, y-axis here, and you can change this axis and you can check this output. And over here, there is two packages, and the class name is my box layout, and which extends frame and a button, and I'm gonna put that button in array, and I just want to create 5 buttons. And so this is also easiest way where you can put it in a for loop and it will just create 5 buttons for you. So you don't want to mention b1, b2, b3, something like that. So basically this is like code optimization. And here the layout has been set like box layout, and the size, visibility true, and the object is created. Fine, that's it. So let's execute this box layout, and I'll run this here. So this comes like this. This is box 1, like button 1, button 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you want to set any event and all, then you can play around with this. So whenever you click on button 1, then it should show some other things. Then you can mention all these things here. Hope this is clear, layout managers. And I'll stop here. Alright, so I'll go back to my presentation. And hope the layout managers and its types are clear for you now. So we have seen border layout, flow layout, grid bag layout, grid layout, and we have seen card layout and box layout. And in the next video we will talk about swings. So that is the end of the unit 5 and part 3. So over there I'll explain with an example using swing components. If you like the video, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe my channel. Thank you, and thanks for watching the video.